Tension is gradually mounting in beleaguered state-owned Intercity State Transport Company Limited as workers of the company prepare to protest what they describe as poor working conditions of service for over 10 years.
They talked about our increment. It was the MD who proposed that he's going to give us 12% salary increment. And my sister, for 10 good years, somebody who is taking about 200 or 300 Ghana, and you are going to give him 12%. Is it not an insult? While you are taking about 75 million a month.
Meanwhile, in talks with senior management of the Scania Group, a Swedish automobile company for the supply of public transport buses to the Intercity, STC and the Metro Mass Transit companies, is this what the STC really need to function properly, and what happened to the board president Mahama reconstituted to help manage the STC crisis? We seek answers on today's big story. My name is Bright Nanafo, and thanks so much for staying there for today's big story. President John Mahama on Thursday held discussions with the senior management of the Scania Group, a Swedish automobile company, for the supply of public transport buses to the Intercity, STC and the Metro Mass Transit companies. The discussions took place during a visit to the company as part of the president's activities while in Sweden to attend the midterm review meeting of the Gavi Alliance. This was contained in a statement from the Flagstaff House, which was communicated to media houses. Now, this news comes in the face of mounting tension among STC workers over issues of unfavorable working conditions. This issue has been lingering on for the past 1 year, and just last September 2013, workers demonstrated over the same issue of unfavorable working conditions. Now let's take a look at what happened there.
The aggrieved workers wore red bands and chanted discontentedly on the premises of the head office of the state's transport company. According to them, they do not know who is actually in charge of STC in terms of management, and until they get the answers, they will continue to demonstrate. The local vice chair, Victor Nyankote, enumerated a host of issues workers are not happy about and demanded the current management be removed to give life back to STC.
Today, we are saying that we want the management out for whoever owns this place to bring their people to come and manage this place. As we speak, if you throw your camera into the workshop, you see a whole lot of buses that are packed, and if you ask, you could see that it's mismanagement. So we are demonstrating today. One, we want our PF to be paid to us, we want salary increment, and we want to know who owns STC.
At the time of Joy News's visit to the yard, no senior official was available. The workers complained none of them had reported to work that morning. The leaders of the demonstration claim they had messaged that some of them had gone to the Snitz guest house, inviting them over for dialogue.
The last time that they talked about our increment, it was the MD who proposed that he's going to give us 12% salary increment. And my sister, for 10 good years, somebody who is taking about 200 or 300 Ghana, and you are going to give him 12%. Is it not an insult? While you are taking about 75 million a month.
Some travelers were caught up in the demonstration, shared their frustration with the news team.
In October last year, the company was also faced with issues of arrears of over 3 million cedis debt owed Prudential Bank. To date, it is unclear whether the debt has been paid or not.
Chairman of the Senior Staff Association, Seth Kwame Martin, tells Joy News SSNIT says it is not responsible for settling the contributions, but rather management of STC is.
We had information from our management that SSNIT has mandated that anybody that STC owns should refer it to SSNIT. So we wrote a letter to that effect to SSNIT, and then unfortunately we had a reply from them saying that ours was not part of it, and therefore we should demand it from our management. The salary arrears has been settled, and we're 4 months, we had 4 month arrears, and then so SSNIT paid 6 months. So they paid a 4 month arrears and then paid 2 months advance.
Seth Kwame Martin says they have received information the SSNIT board has mandated SSNIT to settle STC's troublemaking debt. And since the over $3 million debt to Prudential Bank nearly led to the auctioning of some STC assets, it falls within the category.
We know that SSNIT are in the process of paying. In fact, even we spoke to the officer we spoke to has said that SSNIT had mandated, their board had mandated them to pay monies that will bring trouble to STC. That is those that have gone to court and whatever. And Prudential thing we all know has gone to court, and therefore they were going to auction the place. So I believe by now they might have paid, but we don't know. I don't know offhand, and I cannot confirm it because that is with the management level and then that of SSNIT.
Meanwhile, a Joy News source at SSNIT is unable to confirm media reports that debt with Prudential Bank has been fully settled. The situation is becoming dicey as the source is only unable to confirm the existence of one Isaac Dochi, supposedly the operations manager for SSNIT, who is quoted in some aspects of the media as saying SSNIT has fully settled the Prudential Bank debt and is also in talks with other creditors.
And it appears nothing has changed with the state of STC as workers of the company prepare to protest again. The threat comes a few weeks after the union of STC hit the streets on September 25 and appealed to President John Mahama to, as a matter of urgency, dismiss the company's managing director, Mr. Charles Thompson, and the head of finance and administration, Mr. Nuhu Jansbaka. Earlier this year, President Mahama met with the Minister of Transport and appealed to the group to re-engineer the state of STC.
To put our heads together, you and your minister, and come out with a system where when government assists, with buses, you are able to over time recover the cost of the buses so that we can revolve the credit and make it available to other people. The unnecessary loss of lives, the costs in damage and injury to people, the costs of destruction of property, vehicles, and the like is not a cost that this country can continue to bear.
Right, let's quickly go to the phone lines. Now, Hope Kofi Klu is with the Junior Staff Association of STC. Hope, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, my brother.
Right, now
nice having you there.
Right, first of all, the president just returned from Sweden, and we're told from the Flagstaff House that he has been able to arrange some buses for STC and the Metro Mass Transit System. Now, it then means that perhaps the woes of the STC should be getting over with the acquisition of the buses.
I believe STC ran with coaches, and this very development is a great one. The day of demonstration, that is the song the whole workers were singing for the president. And we are very grateful to the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, for that bold decision. We're all rallying behind him with the hope that by this very effort, our woes will be turned around within the shortest possible time. So we hope so. That is in the right direction.
That's in the right direction. Is this what the company needs to turn its fortunes around?
We believe we are human transporters, and the first logistics STC need is the coaches, a very durable one. And as it's coming now, we also hope that the workers are ever ready to work. So we put certain plies across that of their salary structure that is very, very low. We talked about it. That if those new coaches comes in, I believe all those problems will be the past, and we shall work in the right directions to turn over the company.
What really is wrong at STC? salaries, working conditions of workers. What is wrong at STC?
We also talked about mismanagement. If all structures are pulled down well and the management is being pulled on its tool, we believe we will face the right direction and deliver to the tax. So we are urging the president that by so doing, things should be, we need a restructuring. The whole entire management needs a restructuring so that we'll get the competent people to deliver to the tax.
We're told that workers are planning another protest. Can you confirm that?
The workers are planning another what?
Protest.
There will be no problem so far as I'm aware. Best of my knowledge, we are all relaxed and are waiting for the president. So this very decision had made the whole entire workers' nation were very happy. And we are rallying behind the president. And
before you got wind of this information, what was the mood of workers before you got wind of the fact that the president is negotiating some buses for the company? What was the general mood of workers at STC?
All workers, to the best of my knowledge, are only waiting for the president to come up. First of all, the board have been dissolved, and the workers are very happy to that directive. So we're all awaiting. The tension was so down to hear such a news. And I believe in the right atmosphere.
Now, you seem to suggest that once you have coaches, the wars of the company are over. But you're also talking about a very efficient and effective management. How do we see the two reconciled? Coaches first or restructuring of management?
First of all, what I want you to know, my brother, is that we had a system that worked and that led to a failure. So far as we are crying for a new coaches to come, as the new coaches to come have arrived, we assure the whole public that we need a competent people because STC's problem is with the management. Is that okay? If a good management is put in place and the workers have also lived up to the tax, we'll hit the ground running.
So that even if you have coaches and you have the same management that you think not very effective, you are not sure if the company's woes can be turned around.
We believe these are people who are in the hands of affairs and they mess up. If the right people are placed there, God's willing, we'll get to the Canaan land. See the good life.
The public concern is that perhaps the general working staff is also part of the problem. Attitude to work, treating facilities as state-owned, and so proper care is not attached to it. Isn't that a problem to us, STC?
To the best of my knowledge as a union chairman, I know my people are very concerned about the current situation. The low salary structure is one of the biggest problems of workers. We are all here to work with a genuine mindset. If, for instance, somebody like me who works for the man and I've been paid 166 Ghana cedi as a monthly pay, my brother, where are we heading towards? What we're talking about is a critical issue here. I just use myself as a scenario. The condition of the service currently is so bad. So as we appear before the committee, we put it before them that this and that are problems. If holistically we solve this problem, workers are ever ready to work. We've done it before and we'll continue to do this.
Now, can you also confirm that quite recently, let's say in the course of the week, some coaches of the company were taken away by the police upon a court order? Is that true?
Yes, I can confirm to you that there is a court injunction that had asked somebody to come for those 4 buses. They came for it. And it's true.
And what was the reason for the court asking for those buses to be taken over?
Yeah, there is an accident that happened in 2011. And there was a judgment that was passed on 4 months ago. That is in June this year. And SIC is supposed to go in to rescue and make sure they settle the claim. And failure to do that, the people who were involved were asked by the High Court to come and take our assets. So they came for 4 buses. As I'm talking to you now, the buses are in their custody. And we are only praying that SIC will take it on its own and clear the problem so that we can have our bus and work with them. So currently what we're saying is true. It's confirmed that the buses are be taken.
Finally, just before I let you go, you talked about the fact that the coaches coming in will be of great help. Perhaps with the news coming out, when do you expect these coaches to come in, now that we have information that the president has negotiated for the buses?
That is a good news nationwide, because when the news came, or when we heard the news, each and every worker was so happy, and it's as if probably heaven has rained in STC. Every worker is so happy. We believe that we are in the right place at the right time. The government has really come in at the right time, because this month and next month is our peak season, whereby we need coaches to run. So it is a good news in the right direction that every worker at the head office are very happy and very, very grateful to the NDC government led by His Honorable John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic.
Right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for speaking to me. Hope Kofi Klu is Senior Staff Association Chairman there, talking to me from STC. Let's also tie in this. The President spoke about government's commitment to the BRT project, the Bus Rapid Transit System, that will ensure that people can park and hop onto buses and get to the central business district of the capital. Let's speak to Kojo Antwi. He is with the BRT. Now, Kojo, thanks so much for your time.
Right, for the opportunity.
Right. Now, first of all, let's look at the status of that project, the BRT. It started some years ago. Where can we say we have reached now?
Yes, thank you. Well, as we have tried to put out some over the last few months, the scope for the project has changed. Initially, we were supposed to be focusing on the BRT project from Kasoa to Accra. We ran into some challenges, so we've had to rescope and change the initial implementation plan. Now, we are poised to complete the first phase of the what we call a quality bus service with high capacity vehicles like the BRT, starting from from Amasamai all the way to Accra, the CBD, to Eden.
Right.
And so instead of Kasoa, which was the original plan, the Kasoa has not been abandoned. It's just that the engineering and the investigations we conducted revealed other challenges we needed to deal with. It needs a bit more time and additional resources, financing for that matter. But with what we have under the project currently, we believe that we can finish one corridor by the close of the project here. And so Amasaman through Achimota to Accra, the CBD has been chosen, and that's what we are focusing on now. The expectation is that by the close of July next year, we should be able to have the first buses running on that corridor.
And this re-engineering, you seem to suggest that it will not impact on the completion date of the project.
Well, the original completion date for the project itself initially has changed. We, like I said, because of the challenges we run into, if you remember, when we started the project, we were expecting to complete by 2012. Now, we had a stakeholder management plan that suggested we could do all our consultations with our operators within a period of, let's say, 1 year, completed maximum 1.5 years. Unfortunately, we have to spend 3 years minimum talking to our operators to get them to understand, to get their buy-in. And you know that every month additional in terms of your project completion date has implication on cost. And so we have some cost overruns and coupled the time overrun. Another challenge, that's why we've had to rescope, because we still must demonstrate that we can complete a bus service within the project timeline. That's why we've had to rescope so that we can time and develop Kasoa as planned without doing a watered down. We could still do Kasoa, but when we finish, we are sure that we'll have problems. It will be a watered down project. We'll have challenges. But with the resources available, we can complete Amasama because of the current expansion projects, activities that are taking place on the Amasaman corridor, especially at that Achimota stretch, opening up that place with 8 lanes, 4 lanes on each side. We believe that we can insert a bus service quickly with minimum investment as possible and achieve the benefits of the BRT on that corridor. That's why we are focusing on Amasaman right now to Accra.
Is the changes, is it going to affect? Definitely it will, but how are you trying to move around in terms of financing, since this re-engineering will certainly impact on financing the project? Is everything okay with financing?
Look, with the current scope, yes, we have everything okay with financing. The money left under the project, as our engineers have told us, is enough to be able to complete the chosen corridor we are concentrating on, the Amasaman to Accra corridor. Because, as I mentioned, there's a lot of work that has taken place already, so it's going to make the investments needed there very minimal. And so we believe that with the financing available, we can complete the Amasaman corridor. That's why we are sure we can finish by close of second quarter or latest third quarter next year, we are expecting. When it comes to the other investments like the purchase of the rolling stock or the buses,
right?
Under this agreement, we have negotiated with operators, and then it will be their duty under the project when they get the route service contracts to acquire the fleet needed. Because the agreement with them is that government will not necessarily come into operations, government to regulate, government to provide infrastructure and plan, but operations will entirely be in the hands of the private sector, which is GPRTU, Protua Cooperative, and the rest of the operators, GRTCC. But we believe that once we have signed the route service contract with them, the banks are willing and ready as we speak. There are banks who are knocking on our doors every day to provide them with the financing needed to be able to acquire the buses so they can operate.
Kojo, the public concern is that now you said likely July 2014 next year we should have one of the lanes running. Now, are buses to run on these lanes ready? We are hitting the end of the year. How quickly can we get these buses in before the July date you're talking about?
Yes, we are currently on time in terms of our programming. We have secured an MOU with the operators. We are working on getting them to form the entities needed because the banks are not comfortable with their current state.
Right.
And so we are helping them to form the entities that the banks will be comfortable with. We have done with 3 of them already. There's just 1 left. Once that is done, the next step is to have a route service contract signed by close of year this year. Certainly. We are certain that we'll have that contract signed. Once the route service contract is signed, the next phase is that they approach the banks. Like I said, we've engaged the banks already. The banks are willing and ready. If they talk to the bank sometime in January, the expectation is that the buses, once we order, will take about 4 to 5 months, maximum 6 months to be delivered.
Right.
And that's why we are working with that July deadline, and we're sure we'll be able to meet it.
Now, the concern of the public, commercial drivers, trotro taxi drivers are not too happy. Some continue to claim that the operations of the BRT would affect their operations. What assurance is that this is a project that will not impact on the operations at all?
Yes, the assurance is actually in twofold. The first is that the operations of the BRT will not take all the demand on that corridor. In fact, the numbers we have shows that we'll be mopping up about 30% of the demand.
Right.
And so the other operations will still continue. Number 2, the buses are running on the express lane, like I said, from Amasaman to Accra. There are people who live in Taifa, who live in those areas which are not necessarily, and the buses will not branch into the suburbs. So you need the taxis, you need the trotro to still mop up the passenger demand there and bring them to the main corridor to be carried. Apart from that, I think the biggest assurance is the fact that the ownership of the bus itself, the ownership of the operations, will belong to the operators themselves and not government. And so it is whoever is operating trotro on the corridor today, the unions, they are the same people who are going to own these buses. So they are going to employ their own drivers. They are employing some of their mates, and we just train them and put them in a shape where they can manage an efficient mass public transport system. But it is for them. And so we are not bringing any third-party institution or company to come and run the bus. Then they'll say that somebody is taking part of their demand or their fleet. It is their operation, and they would own it. So the trottoir is theirs, the bus is theirs. They are not losing anything, as it were.
Come July 2014, we're likely to see the lanes ready and the buses running. Kojo, that is an assurance from you.
Yes, that is the program we are working with. Barring any challenges, barring any difficulty, we expect that by July, close of July 2014, we should have the first buses arrive so that we can start training with the drivers, because they need to learn to drive a certain way. They need to be driving at a certain constant speed. They need to know that when I get to a bus stop, I may be there for just 1 minute and move. I don't wait. A synchronized way of operation. So by that time, we should have the buses in. The Scooter, which is the committee that oversees Accra in terms of the chief executive, have decided that during those periods they might offer free rides to the good people of Accra to enjoy the bus rides and go in and out. But training should have begun. But once the buses arrive at that time, we believe that in 2 months, 3 months maximum, the training will be completed and full commercial service would have started by the third quarter of 2014. But certainly, yes, our expectation is that by July we should have the buses coming in so that training can begin.
Kojo, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you so much for the opportunity again. Thank you.
Right, Kojo Ntwi is with the Bus Rapid Transit System talking to me about government effort at improving public transport system. The president said he has negotiated for buses for STC and the Metro Mass Transit System. And of course, the Bus Rapid System getting ready to take off 2004. July. That's how we're wrapping up the first part of the show for this Friday. The second segment, JN Interactive, is coming up in a moment. Stay right there. You're so live here on today's Big Story. Much for staying there. This is the second segment of the show that talks about you interacting with us and telling us what you think via your phone or on a social media platform, on Facebook, on Twitter, WhatsApp, and all other platforms. And Marian has just joined me. She's talking about something very interesting. It's a Friday, and sometimes when you hear things like these, it puts you kind of on the edge. You're talking about naked demonstration?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but is it the public workers or which organization?
There's a group, a pressure group, Citizens Awake Forum.
That's interesting.
And they are saying that they have our interest at heart, and they are members of the public who make up the general populace of Ghana. And so they're thinking that, okay, we're doing all of this, we're talking, government is not listening to us. Perhaps we have to take it a notch further. Let's strip naked. Go walking about the streets of Ghana. Over utility tariffs, and perhaps it will work.
I'm sure heavens will fall that.
Will you join them?
No, I'm not a part of it. But welcome to the show, Marian, once again.
Thank you so much. Welcome to JN Interactive. My name is Marian Toure. So welcome to the Friday edition of JN Interactive within today's big story. And I'm sure you see I am beaming. Yes, it is Friday, and I am happy. Thank God it's Friday. But we're talking about something very serious, yet it's very funny. If you're just joining us, let me, announce all the social media tools that you need to get in touch with us before I tell you what it is if you missed it in my introduction. We are on facebook.com/joynews-on-TV. Like our page, comment on our post, and then we'll share it with the rest of the world. We tweet at Joy News on TV, and please remember to use the hashtag JN Interactive GH so that we'll be able to sort all your comments and take them all at once. I am on Twitter, by the way, and I tweet at MN2Ray. If you're sending us an email, joinnewsim@mototvworld.com. WhatsApp number is 0260 518 801. JN Interactive is where tech meets news to set the agenda. So if you missed it, let me take it again. Pressure Group Citizens Awake Forum is threatening a series of naked demonstrations. And yes, you heard it right, naked demonstrations in the coming weeks over corruption allegations and tariff hikes in the country. The group, which purports to represent the Ghanaian citizenry, said its members are not convinced that President John Mahama is committed to the fight against corruption within his administration. And the leaders of the group say recent issues of corruption involving especially the Ghana Youth Employment and Entrepreneurial Development Agency, which is JEDA, and the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, SADA, as well as the Ghana Revenue Authority and IT firm Suba Info Solutions calls for this. You know, it is an issue of concern. So they're thinking that if we're talking and government is not listening, let's go and strip naked. Perhaps government will listen. And you know that this show is all about you. It's about what you're thinking about and what you're talking about, the issues that sometimes we put out there and what you are talking about, and we bring it onto this show to discuss. So we've been out there, our cameras have caught up with so many of you, and we are asking, are you for a reduction in the tariffs? Because that's what they're asking for. So if they're saying they're representing all of us as Ghanaians, the question is, what are you saying about the reduction in tariffs? Are you for it? Let's take our first video blog.
It's appropriate government reduces the utility tariffs because it's unbearable. 100%, over 100% increments, you can't pay. So it's advisable government reduces it.
What they have to do is to dialogue. You know, I think what they have to do for them to sit down and then dialogue on one common issue, because what is happening, we are still in Ghana, so nobody is running away from Ghana. So if there is anything at all, we must sit down and look at, all these things and then solve it once and for all. Because like you say, this electricity tariff is affecting everybody, every individual, and it's very pathetic. Everybody is complaining, so you have to look at where the problem is coming from, because it's affecting you, it's affecting me. At the end of the day, you are not happy, I'm also not happy.
Yeah, sure, it's really killing us, some of us. It's really killing us. So it will be, a relief when it's been did that.
So it's unanimous. We all want tariff reductions. I do too. I must confess, I also do. Let's go to social media and see some of your comments that have been coming up. The precursor is there, and the question is that, are we ready for a naked demonstration? And will you join this action to express your dissatisfaction? And Nana Blankson says, I asked them. Yes, it is indeed an assembly, a big one. Samson Darko says, please, when and where? So I can come and view, please. What are you viewing? We are supposed to be very serious people going on demonstration, expressing, what is happening to us, and you want to view? No, come and join them. Rex Lee says, please and please, the world is watching us. Keta. Okay, so you're saying that a little bit of decorum, please don't go and strip naked because the world is watching. That is what Rex Lee is sending in. Baba Musa Tamale says, it is sad that every now and then our ears are continuously inundated with all manner of threats by all manner of mushroom groups in this country. All those people giving these unwarranted threats of naked demonstration, what have they done as a group to help minimize corruption in this country? Were they in Ghana when ex-President Kufuor said corruption started from Adam? I'm sure they were here. So you'd rather they find a way of stopping what is happening, every ill that they feel is not right for us. They should try as much as possible to help stop it rather than decide to go on a naked demonstration. But what if that's the only way they see forward? That's what they think they can do. That's their contribution to all of this, because they feel you have to be in power to be able to change some things. So they're not in power. What they can do would be their voice and perhaps their body. Solomon says, what difference would it make? Well, Philip says, I don't agree with the naked demonstrations because naked will not solve the problem. I support them with a demo, but not a naked demonstration. Elvis Wise Chumesi, please ask Dramani Mahama for me. Why has he obeyed the Supreme Court and become the president and cannot obey the institution to collect our monies for us, Ghanaians? Well, perhaps we may have to take him to court. If that is what you think he will listen to, then I'm just talking around what you just sent in. Amaleba Anderson Jr., I'll be the first to start in my area since the government is not ready to perform its functions to the best of Ghanaians. So you will start a naked demonstration in your area. Okay. So I hope you notify the people in your neighborhood that you're starting a naked demonstration, because the last thing you want is for someone to come and grab you and take you to the psychiatric hospital that you've gone bonkers. So please let someone know that you're having a one-man demo and you're stripping. Okay. Roland Yeboah Fine Boy says maybe they are the second Kobolos and Mesh, who are completely crazy. So it will be foolish on their part to do so. And so we'll pause here and take some more of our video blogs. And we are asking still on the naked demonstrations, should we demonstrate or should we not? We want to demonstrate as what the public wants to demonstrate, and government is saying, let's sit down and talk. So demonstration or arbitration? Let's take our next video blog.
Naked demonstration, oh no. Our society frowns on that. So naked, no. I won't advise them to go on naked demonstration. It won't solve anything. Naked demonstration, you go on naked demonstration, it will solve the problem. So I advise them not to go on the naked demonstration.
Naked demonstration? Well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say about that. I don't know. I just don't have anything to say.
That is not going to help anybody. I don't think it's going to help anybody. Like I said, let's all come together and see the way forward, That's what I believe.
I don't think that is necessary. It doesn't add up. You can cry all blood, you can cry all tears if the government don't really have something to do or can't really do what you want. It doesn't matter if you go naked or even if you strip your skin off. It still wouldn't add up. So for them, they should just call it off.
The naked aspect, no. At least a nice demonstration will be fine. But naked, no. I'm not in support with that. We are Ghanaians. That's not our style. It's not good. The naked one, no. It has never happened. And I don't think it's a good thing to happen.
Instead of public nuisance, they can do naked the demonstration here in front of Muhammad House. Muhammad, President Muhammad, who you guys elected him. Yeah. And you can do that naked thing in front of him, so he will become happy. And whomever you want to choose, he can choose, and he will pay money.
Right. So this particular blog that you have been watching was actually to ask what you thought about the naked demonstration, and that is what your views were about the naked demonstration. You don't think that they should actually strip naked, and they can't demonstrate, but they should not strip naked to do so. We'll take some more of your comments before we take our last video blog. Abdullahi Abdul Razak, the issue of corruption in the country is so alarming and disgusting. Much needs to be done. God save Ghana. FO says, is this the best way for us to address problems as a nation? If any group thinks they have legitimate concerns, they should use the right channels to address them and stop these threats. No one is ready for a naked demonstration, and the police should face them fair and square. This is totally unacceptable. Wahab Romeo, yes, that would be great, because the language the government of the day understands is strikes and demonstrations. It is obvious that Ghanaians are paying for the wrong choice they make on 7th and 8th of December. Anyways, there's only first gear. Amadou says, I have never seen... oh my God, this is not savory. I'm sorry. Roland Yeboah Fineboy says, I thought this strict thing was for serious business, but I can see that most Ghanaians out there are now crazy. They should seek for deliverance. God save us. Christian Salvo, my good sister, I will not support naked demo because if not in support of something, I think that there is a proper channel to show your dissatisfaction, not to go naked. They should think that it's not appropriate to do so. And as a future lawyer, I know the rules of this country, therefore I will not entertain that behavior. Don Breezy Aquada says, I'd like to join, but I know today is Friday, but some of your comments, Charlie, they're unsavory. I'm sorry, they are unsavory. And so I guess I'd have to crack my headmistress whip again. Please, please, and please. We're sharing this with so many people around the world. And if you know within yourself that your comment is not for the consumption of so many people, not even the person next to you, but it's just a joke that you can share with yourself, then please don't put it here. It's unwarranted. If it's not savory, I don't want it, and don't put it there. Thank you very much. Abu says, Baba Musa, I wonder why you keep defending this incompetent government, even when its misdeeds are clear and shameful. I think you should bow your head in shame yourself because these greedy people promised the citizens good life and they failed not to talk of this abject poverty. They are pushing citizens into an abyss of sorrow. It's a pity, Baba Musa, join the suffering masses and stop this politics. Divine says, in fact, democracy is not helping Ghanaians at all. We need a military government, and you are laughing there. I'm glad that you're laughing there. Forward ever, backwards never. We've gone forward. We have chosen democracy, and I think that's the way forward. We just have to, soldier on one day at a time, and I'm sure we'll get there. All the democracies that we should respect around the world, they didn't just come into being just one day. It took time, and so we'll also take time. On this note, I'll take our last video blog and also ask you about the demonstrations, so what you make of it.
Well, I concur with the demonstration because seriously, I don't think arbitration can help in this way. The government, day in, day out, sits with these trade union people and nothing really comes out. So if demonstration will actually bring the government to its toes to do what they have to do, then I think that is what is necessary for now. I mean, I'm not part of them, but I wouldn't mind joining them because if it affects my uncle, it will affect me. If it affects my cousins, surely I'm part. So I believe in them going for the demonstration. I 100% support.
As it stands now, I would prefer them go on demonstration because arbitration, how long? And how long would they wait to arbitration? So it's very appropriate to go on demonstration. Demonstration somehow, it's alerts the government here. Yeah, so it's very, very appropriate to go on demonstration.
A lot is happening. For me, like this, our electricity thing, it's giving us problem. We've been there several times and they are doing nothing about it. So I think if only he will listen, then there should be a demonstration.
Yeah. I think they should go for the demonstration because I think government only listen when they go to demonstrations. I think it will help them. They should go for it.
And it looks as if you're all in favor of demonstrations, but we will beg that if it is that way, then please do it peacefully and try as much as possible not to do it naked. I'll take some more of your comments before Bright Anfo joins me so we can wrap up together. Amadou Issa says, not at all, drill ship, you take this out and I say it's politics. Boatin says, are my eyes deceiving me? This is outrageous. And, well, yeah. Kisek Clement says, naked for their way. Moreover, Ghana government is not serious at all. Very weak. Young Webb says, in fact, this demonstration is getting worse. Ezekiel says, God will be very angry with them should they go naked, right? Sadat says, everyday demonstration, when would it stop? I don't know when it would stop. Perhaps when we feel we have what we want, we will stop. But as long as it's peaceful, I don't see anything wrong with it. But that is not the way forward. The way forward is to try to go through all the other routes to talk about it and find a solution. So I am more for arbitration than demonstration. Prince David says, you can bet me they wouldn't do it. It's a mere threat. They should be decent. Inusa Zachary says, better Ghana agenda in advance. Raymond King, oh God bless our homeland Ghana and her children. And yeah, it's fantastic being in Ghana. You know, with all these hardship, we're saying we're broke, we're paying too much for everything. Yet we are a very happy bunch of people. Go out on the weekends and see people are dancing and having one or two, you know, just to cool off for the weekend and then start over again. So, I mean, we'll live to fight another day. Godfred says government officials steal state money and they fail to prosecute them. Is our court there for only those who steal fowls and cassava? No. Adumako Job says, yes, I will also join them if it comes on. Okay. Pag says the real question is, why are they not demonstrating against Nana Akufo-Addo, who deliberately failed to submit legal to defend the GNPC drill ship litigation in court? Well, they're demonstrating against everything, and so if that falls within that, then they are actually demonstrating. Shaney says people easily forget that they're here. Is this world to stay forever? I'm not getting this part. This is a time for the people of Ghana to let these stomach politicians know that we're tired of them. We would not take their selfish interests again. Adomako, yes, I will also join them if it comes on. Osewia Naked Demo will do, but it's against our laws in Ghana. Yes, indecent exposure. You can't expose yourself. So for those of you who are part of the alliance, going naked is against the law in Ghana, and so maybe you would have to think about something else. I'll take few comments and then Nana will join us. Umar says, I'll be there because boys are dying. They must reduce the tariffs. And then final comment here, Ishmael says, naked demo is just a tip of the iceberg. Ghana Spring or uprising is one of the options on the table. Oh, wow. And that is where we end the comments for now. So we'll call it a day. Bright is here. We're wrapping up together.
Right. I was getting interested in the issues about going on the naked. I'm trying to see if a few people are inviting me to join, but I'm not getting any invitation. You're not getting any invitation.
Yeah. I'm sure, you know, it's a few weeks to go. Okay. So don't worry. You'll be getting invitation.
We'll see what will happen then. Right. Right, so thank you so much for having stayed here for the last 1 hour. Steve Ente is coming up with Joy News Exclusive, but we'll have more news later on News at 8. My name is Bright Nanamfo.
And I am Marian Ture. Have a truly blessed weekend.
We'll see you next Monday.
Bye-bye.